Welcome to Rick Rack Ruby. I'm Laura Cluvo. Today we will be making this mushroom angel. She's fun and easy, so let's get started. To make the mushroom angel, I'm starting with 3 lengths of tulle, 6-inch tulle. This tulle is from Amazon and it's kind of filmy, so I'm using 3 lengths instead of 2. And then I have a 20mm head bead. I have a little spool. This is about 5/8 of an inch tall. And I have a 6-inch piece of a chenille stem. And here's my baker's twine. It's on a needle. And I will tie an overhand knot in the bottom here. And then just slip this around the center like this. Trying to get that knot, conceal it between the layers. And then through the spool, through the head. I want to be sure that the tulle comes through to the top of the head. My knot moved around. I think I'll secure that with glue. Let me just open this up and secure this knot on the inside with a little drop of glue. I think that should help. Okay, so through the spool and then through the head. I want the top of that folded tulle to be just at the top of the head, like that. And then between the spool and the head, I'm going to insert the pipe cleaner. That'll be the arms. There we go. I'm going to fold the pipe cleaner, the chenille stem, in half, just so that the arms won't slip through and have one longer and one shorter. There we go. That doesn't have to be perfect right now. And then the spool, open up the arms, turn the head, just to make sure everything looks right. Now I do need to secure this spool because this one has kind of a large hole and not all of them will be like that. So I'm going to scoot it down, add a smudge of glue right here, and then scoot that back up. And I think that will hold a little bit better. Okay, I don't need the needle anymore. So I always tie a knot at the top of the head, even though it doesn't really help to hold anything. It's just a habit. And I don't know, maybe it does do some good. And then I'll tie the hanging loop knot off at the top here. I always make my hanging loops pretty long. I like to have a lot of options. There we go. Now that is the basic doll or angel shape, and you can do anything with this. You can pick any color, any fabric, whatever you like. But today we're going to make a mushroom angel. I did a doll, and in the tutorial for the doll, I said you can always add wings and a halo and make her into an angel. And then I remembered that I had this mushroom paper, and I thought that would be really cute for the wings, and I kind of got carried away, and I was thinking about how the strips have this neutral color that is kind of mushroomish. So anyway, I thought, well, why not just go ahead and do that? So I'm going to take 14 inches of a jelly roll strip. I've been working with the honey bun strips, and this seems so wide now, but I'm just going to take the the selvage off, and then measure 14 inches, which is about 1/3 of the strip. I like doing that so that we don't have a lot of waste. This is actually a pine cone design, which is botanical, which kind of goes with the mushrooms, so I chose that one. I'll cut 14 inches, and then, like I say, that's about 1/3 of the strip, and I should be able to get 3 from one strip. And this was another option. I think this one would be fine, the gingham. And I pulled this lace out of my never-ending lot of lace. And again, it had that sort of a mushroom color. So I thought I would go for it, because at first I thought, oh, this is so brown. I don't know what I would ever do with it. And I was not very inspired by it. But then once I decided to go with this mushroom theme, I thought, aha, this is mushroom-ish. So I'm going to overlap this by about 1/4 of an inch, which for this lace will be right at the bottom of this first little scallop, right like that. And I'm going to do a narrow zigzag right across the header to attach this to the strip. There we go. And now I'll fold this in half, pin, and stitch up the seam. Now this will be the skirt, and I'm turning it to the right side, and I'm going to gather up the top edge. First, I'll turn the seam allowances to one side, fold them to one side, and insert my needle with my double strand of quilting thread so that the knot is secure right there. All right, so now I'm just going to gather this up all the way around the top edge. I'm about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and my stitches are about 1/4 of an inch long. That looks good. And so I will place this over the angel's body, keep the arms and the hanging loop out, and I'm going to pull it tight around the base of the spool. I'm going to distribute the gathers evenly, as even as I can. And then I'm going to wrap it very tightly and knot it off in the back. The seam is in the back. Where's the seam? Oh, my seam's not in the back. My seam's kind of on the side. So let me spin this around a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to secure it under here in the back to the spool with a drop of hot glue. I squeezed out some hot glue right there in the back, and hopefully that will hold everything. Here's how she looks from the front. And now I can trim off this excess from her little skirt, her slip. I like when a little bit of it shows. Just a little bit of petticoat. Look how cute that is already. Adorable. All right, so now there's going to be a second gathered strip. And I think that I wanted to use this one just because it's darker. And it also has little kind of like a floral and leaves, so it feels a little bit botanical. What do you think? There's that one. Or, you know, this one will work, but I think I'm going to use this one. It's just a little more lively. And again, I'm going to cut off 14 inches. First, the selvage will go, and then I'll cut a 14-inch length. And again, I should have enough for 2 more because this should be about 1/3. And then I'm just going to seam up these short ends right here and then gather up one long edge. This feels more like the top to me. I don't know why. Like these are growing up. So I'm going to gather up the top edge by securing my knot right there again in the seam allowance, and then just going through and gathering up this top edge. This is the top part of her dress, which kind of resembles sort of like a cape or just a flounce at the top. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just gather it up 1/4 of an inch from the edge with about 1/4 of an inch long stitches. Once upon a time, I took a French hand sewing course, and one thing that I remember is that the longer your stitches are, the tighter you can gather something. And that's about all I can remember from that class. But it's true. So if I ran this through my gathering attachment, it would not, I would not be able to pull it as tightly as I can with these long stitches. Now, this is important. This flounce goes actually beneath the arms. So above the skirt, but the arms are above. Hope that makes sense. So now I'm gathering this just below the edge of the spool. So it's still on the spool, and the edge should sort of secure it like that. And then again, the seam is in the back. And I will tie this off. I'm not going to wrap it because I don't think this one is quite as vulnerable to slipping off, but I am going to glue it. So I'll, pull it tight and kind of draw it together, secure the thread in the back, lift it up, and add a little glue back there and secure it. A little bit of glue right there. Then I'm going to press that down into the glue, distributing the gathers evenly. I think I'll add a little glue to the front too. So there's how it looks. Don't worry about the raw edges of this flounce because we are going to disguise that. Okay. A little felt heart. This is about 1 inch by 1 inch. You don't have to have a heart. I use my die cutter to cut this out. You can cut it out by hand, fold a little square in half and cut out a heart, or you could just use a circle or an oval or a square or a strip or whatever you like. Or even, I was thinking even a bow would be cute right there, see? But I'm going to use a heart, and I'm just going to glue it right there. It's kind of becomes her bodice. I'm putting it up very high, just underneath her chin, like that. And now I'm going to do her hair. I don't remember if I said that this is a 20mm head bead, and you can find the instructions for the face in my Focus on Faces video. So for the hair, we will use whatever kind of yarn you like. Mine is this loopy Mohair. I'm just using this so you can see it better. Wrap this about 6 times, I think, around these 2 fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually think that might be a little bit long, but we'll work with it. Then the piece goes all the way around. Pick up the original end. And of course, as usual, since I was talking through the whole thing, I'll be a little bit more descriptive. For the second bundle, we need 2 bundles. So it's a figure 8. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the tail and kind of hold it with these 2 fingers right here, and then wrap it. Did I do 6 times? 1. Okay, so around these 2 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then leave a second tail nice and long, and then this top piece goes all the way around. Make a complete circle. If anybody has trouble, that's usually the step. Just go all the way around. Then pick up the original tail and tie it in the center with a square knot. And then cut off the tails, and there you go. 2 bundles, 2 figure-8 bundles. One for the front, one for the back. I always start with the back, and I'm going to squeeze out a penny of hot glue right here on the back. The knot goes right up here behind the hanging loop, and then the lengths, the loops, are pressed into the glue on the back of the head, but it doesn't have to be perfect because the wings will be over that. We just want to be sure that it's covered, and maybe you can see a little bit of the length here resting on her shoulders. Then the second bundle is going to go in front. These are getting annoying. In front of the hanging loop. So I just squeezed out a small amount of glue right there in front of the hanging loop, and I'm just going to press that knot into that drop of glue. Hold it for a second until I'm pretty sure that it's secure. That looks good. And now we're going to twist the little bundle and glue it to the side. I'm going to add a little bit of glue, just squeeze it out in a line from here to here, like where a headband would go, right over her ear, if she had an ear. So twist and press into that glue. It sort of joins the first bundle, and it looks pretty good. So I'll do the same thing for this side. Just squeeze out a line of glue down the side of her face, twist this toward the back, and press it into the glue. That looks good. That looks super cute. I'm gonna just kind of touch it up a little, add a little drop of glue right there. That looks good. Okay. Now she's going to hold this mushroom. So I will cut off the stem. Don't need that. Although I did try at one point sort of twisting the stem around the arms and stuff, it was kind of a disaster. Now the hands are going to sort of interlock, so cross them like an X, and then just fold them back like that, just so that they, hold on to each other. And then I'm just going to glue this to the front of the hands. Sometimes, oh, I want to tell you, I got this whole bag of mushrooms from Amazon. There's 50 in there. I can't remember, it was like $8.99. Not expensive at all. So I just got those. I wanted to make sure I was providing you with a source. I added glue to the stem of the mushroom, and now I'm going to press it onto the center of where her hands are. I tip it a little bit so the top of the mushroom is a little more forward, and that end with the cutoff wire is more to the inside. Now for her halo, we have gold wire. I'll cut off a piece about 2.5 inches, something like that. This is 20 gauge gold wire. I just shaped it into a U with my thimble. I'm going to add glue to each end of the halo, and then glue it into the hair on either side of the head. That looks good. And then for the wings, I'm using this mushroom themed scrapbook paper. It's from this. It's Gnome Time. It has all kinds of cute papers. I use this for my gnomes. I don't even remember when that was, but this is from this collection. It's Gnome Time. Oh, here it is. Craft Consortium. This is the front, and I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of glue right here in the top center, right by the fold. And then I'm just going to press that into the back of her head. I want to make sure that you can see it. So don't put it down behind her shoulders. It almost makes a circle with this little cape ruffle. And she's done. That was fun. I'm going to call this a bonus because it's so similar to another project that I'm just going to call it a variation. Of course, everything I make is a variation of something, but this one I just couldn't resist sharing with you. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.